Hey, 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 everyone. Welcome in. It has been such a long time. I feel like I haven't been on here. Um, I feel like I haven't been on here in a really long time. And I wanted to jump in and say Happy New Year. And I'm going to wait for a couple of people to jump in before I get into the topic and discussion. I am a few minutes early. I hope everybody's doing well. We got, I don't know exactly how many inches of snow that we got, but we got, I'm going to say at least 5. I know we got more than that, but I just don't know. And apparently they're calling again for more snow this weekend. Hey, Karen, welcome in. Happy New Year to you, my friend. I feel like I've got to get back on a schedule. I've been off schedule since the holidays. And as much as I, enjoyed not being on here, but I was also sick, it feels good to kind of start getting back into that rhythm again. It's taken me a while. But did you have a good holiday season? I am just, yeah, I am just, I am just hanging out today. It's very cold and windy outside. And we are staying warm inside. It is. It's cold and windy out. And, it's no fun when you have to go out there. So, yeah. So, I just thought we'd kind of get into a chat about the new year. Do you have goals or anything, Karen, like that? Do you? I don't try to make resolutions or anything like that, but I just really am. I'm trying to focus more on myself, not in a selfish way, but there are things that I need to address with myself. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. And yesterday, Karen, I was down yesterday. I wasn't feeling well. And I don't know why. Well, I think part of this, for some reason, I haven't been sleeping. I don't know why. Like I just haven't been sleeping. So, and I know that has a lot to do with the things that I have chosen to eat that haven't been the best. So, yeah, I kind of have a goal myself. I try to make some goals, and and if I meet them, bravo, right? Celebrate it. And if I don't beat myself up over it. I get back to it when I can. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So I did jump on here a little bit early because I was sitting around, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go on. You know what I mean? So I normally don't start. I changed the time. It used to be 2:30 when Gail and I would come up together. And then I changed it to 3. And then today I said, I just want to let me get up there and just kind of get that rhythm going again. I put a whole chicken in the oven for dinner tonight. It's one of the ones I purchased. I didn't raise the chicks, but somebody else did for me. So I am I am happy to have that in the oven cooking. And then I will save like the carcass and everything because I need to make more chicken broth. So yeah, let's see. So I'll tell you, I'm just gonna hopefully get a couple more people in here. Hey, What Life, how are you? Welcome in. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and Happy New Year to you too. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, so I'm gonna roast it. Of course, it's in the oven, but I'm not sure if we're just gonna eat it that way or if I'm gonna, pull it apart and do something else. But I think I'm just want to keep it simple. I mean, the chicken's there, right? I can take it apart and have multiple meals out of it in my freezer, ready to go at any time. Hey, tell us treasures, welcome in. That's fine. Thanks for being up here. So, yeah, I was just telling Karen, I jumped in a few minutes early and kind of started at 2:30 versus 3 o'clock just to get in here, get my rhythm going again. And I love being on here at 3, but sometimes that takes me till 4 my time. And it's like at 4 o'clock, then it's like, okay, dinner's got to get going and I got to put the chickens away. And it's a little too much for me in the evening time. When summer comes around, then it's like, it doesn't matter because it stays out light longer, right? And you don't feel that urgency to get supper and everything before dark. So yeah, that's one of the things. Tell us, Treasure, are you making candles today? Or I planned on doing a lot this week, but yesterday, as I said, it was not one of the best of days for me. So I've truly learned not to beat myself up. If you're not feeling well, you're not feeling well. There's nothing that you can do about it, right? Oh, congratulations on your order. Somebody's asking me about a specific recipe, and I'm gonna take a picture of this recipe and see if it's something that she can use. There. Anyhow, sorry about that. Now we got a couple of people in here. Happy New Year to you, Tell Us Treasures. Hope you're doing well. But I'm going to get started. Yay! Good job, Karen. Oh, that's wonderful. How'd it come out? And was it easy for you to use? That's awesome. Yeah, we just put together an air fryer collaboration. I put my video out yesterday, or no, this morning. And I did potatoes in mine, and they kind of came out a little crunchy, almost like a potato chip, but they were sure good. It makes it very nice and easy to make a side dish 1, 2, 3. I'm proud of you, Karen, for using your Instapot. That's awesome. That's so great. So let me tell you, it's one of my goals for this year, and I even think that we spoke about it, is going gluten-free. Now, I have been told by my doctor when I was treated for chronic Lyme disease, Hashimoto's, and that I should be gluten-free. And I went on a gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free eating for a while. And that happens to go with Lyme disease. But when you have a thyroid issue, and especially one like I do of Hashimoto's, you really should be gluten-free. There's my doctors have told me that, and I do, but I'm not 100%. How's that sound? I used to be 100%. I got really good at it, and then I kind of wiggled my way back. Well, now I believe that it is causing me more issues that I don't want. So I picked up this book in one of the bulk stores up in Pennsylvania, and it's called Gluten-Free Cooking, and it's a lovely book. And I don't know where exactly, like, if you've ever tried gluten-free products, some of them are good, some of them are just terrible. Enjoy it. I put a playlist on my channel too of the channels who have put videos out for that. But I can tell you this, gluten-free can be a tricky experience when it comes to like making bread. I've done the whole gluten-free bread. It's very expensive and it costs a lot of money to purchase it. So I want to learn how to make my own gluten-free bread. Yesterday I did my sourdough bread and I am so disappointed. It was just too cold in here. my bread went into the trash this morning because it didn't rise properly, and it had been sitting in my oven literally all night long to rise, so I had to throw it out. Hey, Hoggy. I never pronounce your name right. I'm so sorry. Welcome in. Happy New Year. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. If you guys don't mind sharing this out somewhere, that would be really great, and giving me a thumbs up. That helps my channel. Even typing in the comments helps the activity on my channel with watch hours, believe it or not. But anyhow, I found this cookbook. I have another one, but a different one that I found at a used bookstore. But I found this cookbook, and what I liked so much about it, and I'll show you, is that she has different gluten-free flour mixtures that you can use for different things. And when you're flipping through the recipe, it will just tell you to like pick one of the, the flours mixtures that you've decided to. So for example, one of the flour mixtures is rice flour, tapioca starch, potato starch, and Epsom gum. So, and I'm just been trying to research a lot of this stuff to understand what it is about. And one of the things that I had learned was that psyllium husk powder acts as the binder, keeps things like moist in the sense, where like it's not as dense as like a gluten-free thing. And thank you, Tell Us Treasures. And there's a ratio on how much of the psyllium husk powder you should use versus the amount of flour that you use. So as I'm going through these different recipes in here, I want to understand, what does this do for that? So I have a 1-to-1 regular gluten-free flour, and it says you can substitute it for any recipe and it should be fine. So what I think I'm going to do is use the 1-to-1 flour first, add in this psyllium husk, get those ratios down right, and see how that works. And then, because I just invested, money in the rice flours and stuff. This stuff is expensive if you're going to be doing this, but I want to be able to find one of these, aside from the 1-to-1 flour. My goal is to find one of these gluten-free flour mixes that I really like. That I really like a lot, that I can use, So like this, like, why would you put in cornstarch? Like, I don't understand why you would put in cornstarch. That's not something I would want to do. Especially, I know it's gluten-free, but the cornstarch, if it's processed, isn't healthy for you. Do you know what I mean? So, and then they have one using millet flour. Well, I've never used millet flour. I don't even know if I actually bought millet flour here. But again, it calls for cornstarch. So I'm not really sure. So that's what I need to understand as I research, is go figure out, why is there a significance of using cornstarch in a gluten-free recipe, so I can know. But I found some, and then a lot of this has the potato starch in it, which isn't bad. It's just the potato, the water, right? The starch. But it looks like our road is clear. We finally, the VDOT, which is who takes care of the county roads and stuff, they finally came down our road today. Now, mind you, what's today? Wednesday. So it snowed on Monday. And see, that's what I'm thinking, Karen. They finally came down today. We live on a back gravel dirt road. See, it's really hard to plow, but they finally came down today and did some plowing, and they laid some salt down because schools were canceled today, because the back roads where the buses, like where I live, the back roads, the buses have to get through here. And my road is very narrow, and it doesn't see a lot of sun. in certain patches, and it's very icy you want to know how I know that? Because I got stuck once coming up my road on the ice. I had my foot all the way down on the brake, and my car just started sliding down. Thankfully, the car that was behind me, the minivan, she knew I was having problems, so she kept her distance from me. She backed up further so I could get down. I had to slide all the way down, and I pulled into a driveway, and I had to turn around and then go all the way around and back into my area here, because there's such you like when you come in here, you don't realize there's such an incline coming back up that when it snows and it's icy, that it is hard to get up. And at that time, I didn't have like the 4-wheel drive or the on your cars now you can switch it to icy, snow, or whatever. I didn't have that ability in my car that I had. So yeah. Hey, Nancy's, welcome in. Tell our treasured home. Thanks for being here. So yeah. So back to Karen's question, and I really love the fact that you brought this up. I'm thinking the same thing, that I can substitute arrowroot for cornstarch, and arrowroot is a much better choice than cornstarch, don't you think? So that's what I'm thinking. But I like the fact like this. If I wanted to make banana muffins, yeah, so I can, and I do have arrowroot. I made a point to buy extra because I have used it before. So I like the fact, like if I want to make banana muffins, it just tells me right here that I need to get a gluten-free flour mix. And so I go back to the very front of the book where it has all the mixes that are listed, but it also tells you which mixes go well with which thing. So they say like you don't want to use like the same mix that you would use for a flour. You don't want to use that if you're baking cookies or something like that, because it's not good. It's going to have a different texture on it. So before I bake anything, I have to decide exactly which mix becomes the easiest for me to use. So this one, and I'll give you this recipe if you guys want to write it down. It is 6 cups of brown rice flour and 3 cups of tapioca starch. And you want to sift that and store in a dark place. And it says you use a cup for cup of this in exchange for 1 cup of regular flour. So if you do any gluten-free, you know anybody that does gluten-free. Then it says add 1/2 teaspoon, a half teaspoon of Epsom gum per 1 cup of flour, which I think that's where I would substitute the psyllium husk powder, if I'm not mistaken. And then adding an extra egg if the eggs are already in the recipe, and she says this is how it becomes gluten-free, becomes easy. You use this measurement and you have a gluten-free flour mix ready to go when you want to use it. So if I wanted to, bake those banana muffins, then I would just go there. I know. Yeah, I think that's the thing. And I think like I've done a gluten-free 1-to-1 flour before. I have baked with it, but it does not. The texture is not the same as regular flour. So I think from what I have read and researched, the psyllium husk powder is what gives the texture that you're looking for. In like the moistness, the squishiness, like, how you can just like squeeze bread or something like that. With the gluten-free stuff, you can't do that. Things crumble. So the psyllium, if I'm saying it right, the psyllium powder, husk powder, is supposed to do that as long as you're getting your ratios right, which I'm going to have to pull out my scale now and start weighing that stuff out. So that is one of my goals, and it is a must. I did, however, on Amazon, I did, however, find a gluten-free dehydrated sourdough starter. And I got it from the San Francisco Bread Company. It's the same place that I got my regular dehydrated starter from because I kept killing online. And I know that their products work. So I am going to activate that and try and make sourdough bread with that. They do, Karen. It's absolutely terrible. And you know what the worst part of it is? I'll be honest with you. The next time you guys go to the grocery store, go look at the gluten-free products and go see how much junk is in it in the store. It's terrible. It's not any better than buying the food that we buy now. Do you know what I mean? So that is one of the reasons why I am motivated to learn how to do this, because the stuff in the store has just really bad stuff for you. Yeah, it's gluten-free, but it's usually higher in carbs and it usually has a lot more sugars in it. That's not good for you. So yeah, you know who they are? Yeah, so I'm going to try that. You have to activate it with brown rice flour. That's what they recommended, which is one of the things. So I got a big 5-pound organic bag of that up at one of the bulk stores in Pennsylvania when I was there before Christmas. I went in and I had my list of everything. Now it's about getting in the kitchen, experimenting, trying this out, and seeing what I can come up with. And I want to share this journey with people. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to share the journey to help somebody else out. So, and then of course this has also other recipes, to if you're cooking, and I understand what gluten-free is and when not to put in like breadcrumbs. You can't have breadcrumbs, but yeah. So anyhow, that is my one goal for this year. So I'm going to start that soon. But other than that, right now I have been doing the pantry challenge, 3 Rivers challenge. Does anybody else do that? I totally agree. It is learning how to rebake all over again. And yeah. So I think it's about learning, just like finding that ratio, and yeah, and it's going to be fine. So what are your goals? Tell me in the comments. What are your goals? I'm going to type the question. What are your goals? Oh, and I didn't show you. So this is something too. My husband is actually building me a website, and I'm really excited. It's going to be lifeatthepiedmont.com. And yeah. I know, Karen, if you don't grow them, did you know that you can order organic ones from Azure Standard and off of Amazon and make your own syrup? I want to, because that's something that I want to do too. And I want to try my hand at making gummies again. I didn't do very well the last time, but I want to try that again. Thanks, Nancy. Yeah. So he's building me a website where I'm going to have like my recipes. I've come up with something and I've created something to help people, and that's going to be on there. If there's going to be a link to my videos. Yeah. Yeah, just FYI, if you know how to make it, there's people who make the syrup all the time. I'm sure you can go find one, a recipe. But yeah, that's what I want to do, and bottle it up and store it away. So I'm going to start putting some merchandise out there, and one of them is right here, and it is my soap. This is like a cast style soap. It's very clean. This is a very clean soap. There's no perfumes. There's no dyes in it. It's just very clean, so it's not going to be hard on your skin. So that's going to go in. Let's see, Nancy, to lose weight, find out what other foods I'm allergic or sensitive to, write my cookbook. Congratulations, that is awesome. So I went through that type of thing too, Nancy, when I first, well, I don't know how long ago it was, but back in 2010 or something like that. Hey, Jennifer Ocean Homestead, welcome in. Glad you're here. I actually went through that too. And a lot of that, that's okay, Jennifer. I'm really glad you're here. Good to see you. I was going to reach out to you privately, Jennifer, because I was really taken by your comment. And it's not my business, but I was like, wow, I'm really sorry. Like, I felt really bad. So I'm really sorry. So one of the things that my problem is, and if you don't know, is that like the antibodies and stuff attack myself. So I can be putting in good stuff into my body and I can be doing the right things, but my body doesn't know how to respond to that. And it turns and it attacks itself, which puts my body under stress, and it doesn't know what to do, which makes it hard to lose weight. But when I went in and I went to a certain doctor, my doctor had referred me to, she's an acupuncturist, but not with the needles. It was a different type. I had like sensitivities to food. Like I couldn't get over how many sensitivities I had to food. And that was all based because of my Lyme disease and my thyroid issue. I was so blown away. So keep doing it. Write the book. However I can help you. Prayers for you, Nancy. You can do it. So yeah, so that's the one thing I picked up again. I started crocheting again. I want to kind of crochet some of my own items to go on my website and then take to market in the spring. So I started crocheting a washcloth. So I found a really easy pattern that I know how to do. So that's what. Hey, Tuber Chat, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Yeah, people are used to me going on around 3:00. Yeah. So, and those are the things that you're going to learn along the way. What causes you the flare ups and what you should and should not do or put in your mouth. And that's just something over time, I think, is your body adjusts to it. Like you learn those things, your body tells you those things, and it's important to listen to that. And that's kind of what is setting me on this journey and this goal this year. Maybe it has to do with my age too. I'm not getting any younger. I turned 57 this past year, and it doesn't bother me, but I don't like it either. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. So, what is it, Jennifer? So yeah. So yeah, but some days I don't feel like it. So yeah. But anyhow, those are my goals right now. And I'm the type of person, I just have to kind of focus on one goal. I don't want to overwhelm myself, with too many goals. It's because I'm not successful if I put all these goals out there. They're written down, but right now tackling the gluten-free baking and stuff is something that I really feel that that's what I need to do. And so I'm going to do it, and I'll share. I'll take you along with me. So that's fine. Whenever you want to communicate privately, we can do so. Jennifer, right here, it just wouldn't be live. It would just be backstage where nobody can hear us. But yeah, let me know. Thank you. There's my email, Jennifer, so let me know. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Oh, and I know. So last night, my son comes out to me. He goes, Mom, was it last night or yesterday at some point? He goes, Mom, did you see what you called me? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, no, on the text message. Well, I had made bacon and eggs yesterday for breakfast. So I didn't want to bother him because he's working. So I texted him. I said, hey, there's bacon and eggs for you. Well, instead of calling him John, my stupid phone autocorrect and called him Joanne. Like, what? Oh, please do, Jennifer. I'd really appreciate that. I really would. So yeah, so I understand autocorrect. And it's because when you speak text when you speak for your phone on like an iPhone for a text message, it types what it thinks it heard. So I know, right? So yeah. So what else am I doing? So yeah, my website's going to have recipes. It's going to have a link to my channel. It's going to have some merchandise there. I'm thinking I may talk to my Amish friends who sew and pick up a couple of their things to sell on there. Yep. Sounds good. Sounds good, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Yeah. And then, yeah, so those are my goals right now. So the website my husband's doing, the gluten-free baking, and I'm doing a couple of other things that I have not mentioned publicly because I don't want to. And there's a couple of other things that my husband and I are working on together, and I have to get back with it. So thanks, bud. My son just lit a fire. And now I'll bring my dogs into the other room. I have a little Chihuahua. He's old. He's like 18 years old, if that. Maybe I'm exaggerating there. But we adopted them in 2015, and they said they were 8 and 9. This is 2025. So how old does that make them? So it's so cute. He goes in there. Somehow this little thing, he wiggles out of his sweater. And then when I put him in the other room with me, he's so cute. I wish I had a picture, but I deleted all the pictures off my phone. He just lays right in front of the wood stove, and he just lays there and he just sleeps. And he's like, he has this little smile on his face, and he's so content. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen. Like, his name is Jack. And so, yeah. So anyhow, somebody was messaging me about something I had asked them. Sometimes when you go to do things, when you agree to do something, I shouldn't say it, and you're doing it, but you realize other people aren't doing it, and you just kind of go, that's kind of where I'm at right now. So yeah. Anyhow, and then I wanted to tell you something else. My son's on a phone call, so I'm trying not to talk too loud. But anyhow, yeah. So I want to know more about your goals. Hey, Mountain Grandma, thanks for stopping in. And I know you're working, but thanks so much. I appreciate you. Yeah. So anyhow, we are. I don't think we're doing anything this weekend because they say it's snowing again. We're supposed to have a storm, but then when I check the weather app, all the snow that they forecasted, now they've taken it away. So who knows, right? But I have been decluttering. And no, it's not just because it's the new year. It's because I need to declutter. Do you know, I had no intentions one day. I went upstairs and I looked into my closet and I'm like, I don't wear half the stuff that's in here. All my dresses are handmade. So all my other clothes that I had is something I don't wear anymore. And so don't you worry about it, Tammy. Thank you so much. So I got rid of 5 bags. 5 bags. And my closet is so clean and neat. And I'm loving my closet now. I'm loving my closet. I love it. I'm just loving my closet. Let me see. Let me go back because there was I think a gardening. Yeah. So gardening season is upon us soon. I know with the snow outside, it's hard to envision the garden. My garden's covered in snow, but I do need to get my seeds started here shortly, especially my pepper plants, because last year my pepper plants did not do well. And I am the type of person who does not beat herself up over it when things I did last year, because the seeds I had purchased were from a really good, reputable company, and the germination rate was like this. Like, I was really disappointed in the lack of germination out of these pepper plants. So I'm going to try and start them again in different soil this year. Hopefully that will change. And I am going to start them here soon. Yeah. But it's so cold right now that I think I'd be defeating the purpose in battling the soil being cold and not being able to stay warm. Yes, I have grow mats and I could use those, but I don't know. I got to do one thing at a time. So yeah, so I started, so my bedroom's done, and then I have this little cutout area in my room, and it just got really unorganized. So I organized that and decluttered and threw away a whole entire trash bag of stuff, just stuff, which was ridiculous. And I'm talking like old, I don't even know what it was, but just a lot of stuff that we don't use. There's still more stuff that I could probably toss out, but right now it's clean, it's organized. And then the linen closet, none of those need to be touched because they're all organized and clean because I've done it already. But then I have a guest bedroom, and my guest bedroom is where not only do guests sleep, but it has a lot of my business stuff in there, and my sewing machines and my computer and tables and stuff. And because I pulled everything, I decluttered the closet, so there's literally nothing in the closet now. There was just stuff in there that I needed to get rid of. Not even all my stuff. And then I have another closet in this room, and my daughter and my son-in-law are going to come back here and live with us for a short period of time because they're going to be buying a home. So the guest room was her bedroom when we moved in here. So she still has a ton of stuff in there. So I told her the best thing for her to do is come over with her containers and go through all the stuff that she has and decide whether or not she wants it or to donate or whatever it is, and just like take everything out and put it to storage and just be done with it. So I went in there and pulled out our stuff, my stuff, and some of her stuff. And then I left her stuff in the closet that's already in containers. So when she comes over, it's easier for her to go through and maybe condense some things. I have all these VHS tapes of Disney movies. I'm like, do I need those? Do people still have VCRs? I don't know. And I was like, oh my gosh, that just kind of brought back memories, from 30 years ago, right? When your kids were young. So, and I'm working from the top and coming down. That's the goal. So once I get the guest bedroom down, then I'm going to come down here. And my goal is to paint my kitchen. I don't like the color. So I told my husband we painted our family room a really pretty, I love it, like a deep green color. And I'd like to take that into the kitchen. And I'll show you, I was doing some research around New Year's or something like that, just trying to get an understanding of colors and all that stuff. I don't know if I still have it, friends. I may have deleted that because I was going through my phone today, deleting. Oh, I want to show you. These are the color trends for 2025 if you're interested. So I think they're so very pretty. And I tend to lean towards the warmer colors. So I'd like to go see some of these colors in person. But that's from Benjamin Moore. Those are the color palettes that are really, really, yeah, I know. Because they're just really pretty. I lost my train of thought because I was reading something. So once I get done with that, I just did a big purge in my kitchen. However, I don't like the way my pantry is. I want to redo my pantry. I truly, honestly want to I told my husband, and he agrees. We have those wire racks in there, and I am very thankful for those, but I would like to get solid shelves, like a solid shelving unit on there. Yeah, I love earth tones. Those are my favorite colors. So as I was saying, like, it's a really pretty dark green. Remember back in the day where they had like a hunter green? Do you remember that hunter green color back probably in the late 80s or something? I don't know. It's just a really pretty green, and I want to carry that into my kitchen. I have white cabinets. Hey, Echo, welcome in. Happy New Year. I have white cabinets in my kitchen, and my husband's like, do you think it's going to make it too small? I'm like, no, it's just going to pop and probably make my cabinets look dirty, right? So that's my goal. I don't have a lot of wall space in my kitchen, so I thought that would look really pretty. I'm glad you ate something you have to eat. Really? Well, then maybe I'm going to have to go sell some of those VHS tapes and make a little bit of money, right? I think I have all the Disney movies, and I'm not kidding you, on VHS. I have all of them. Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. I have all those. I'm pretty sure they're in that container. So, yeah. So, and then the biggest task of all, friends, will be coming. I probably should tackle that, why it's not too hot. It's called the garage. Oh my gosh. I can't get over my garage, my poor garage. It just has, when I closed the brick and mortar down, I just kind of brought everything into my garage literally and just sat it there and left it there. And I've gone through it from like bits and pieces, but never like, do I keep? So if renting a big dumpster wasn't so dang expensive around here, I literally would have a big dumpster dropped off in my driveway. And I would, as I went through things, just start dumping. So the garage is a huge reorganization. And then downstairs, yes, we have in my basement and in the storage unit where I have my pantry for like all my canning stuff, we need to declutter a lot of that out of there. And well, wouldn't that be nice? I'll have to look in. I'm really going to have to look into that. Thanks for telling me. I appreciate it. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, we want to get rid of that. Some of the stuff is ours, some of it's not ours, but I want to expand my pantry down there. So my biggest problem in my home is My kitchen is not big enough for what I do and for the things that I have in my house. From the canning equipment to the bread makers, the KitchenAid, you know what I'm talking about? Who's with me out there? How many of you have those big, huge, bulky appliances? And even though you don't use them on a daily basis, they're still in your kitchen. Because why do you want to go down a flight of stairs to haul it back upstairs when you want them? That's kind of my thinking. So I had bought this great cabinet off of Amazon, thinking this was going to solve my problem. And I'll be honest with you, it's not solving no problem. And so, I don't know. I honestly, and I got rid of stuff. I've decluttered my kitchen, and I got rid of stuff that I just don't use. So I just don't. I just don't know. So if anybody out there has any suggestions, I just don't know what to do with it. I'm thinking, the kitchen is not functional for me. The house was built in the 70s, so my kitchen isn't a functional kitchen. There's a lot of wasted space in there, in my personal opinion. And I'm going to show you something. Oh, wait, can you see it? I'm turning my laptop around. Okay. This hutch right here, the wall right there is my kitchen. That's actually my pantry. So behind this hutch is my pantry. My pantry is the whole entire width. Well, that's nice, right? But why not take this wall out, make the area I'm sitting in one huge kitchen? Although I did hear the open floor plan is not as popular anymore as it used to be. I'm like, I don't know where I heard that from, but I was like, who is saying that? That's just, those are dreams, guys. Those are dreams, okay? To remove, I don't think I could remove it structurally. I don't think I could. But that's where my head is. Like, why can't I just remove that wall? Just give me a sledgehammer. Let me knock it down. And then I can have all this space and then have my cabinets the way I want them. Well, and here I do too. Nancy. And here's the thing. I knew coming into this house when we purchased this house 10 years ago, or however long it's been, that I didn't have the kitchen of my dreams. But I got the property that I wanted. And I am very happy, and I'm not complaining. I'm very happy. I love my home. I love the property. There are just things that I need to do to make my life a little bit easier in my kitchen. Like today, when I went to go get something out, like the shelf broke. Like the little pegs that hold the shelves in, like falls off. And that's because I have too much stuff. But it's not too much stuff. I use the stuff. And it just was one of those things. My son comes out, he's like, Mom, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. And I'm like singing to myself, I am thankful. Thank you, God. Because I don't want to have a heart that sounds like I'm unthankful. I'm not. That's all. So we'll see. Oh, how lovely, Jennifer. I bet that's beautiful. So, yep. So if you guys didn't know tonight, Leanne over at the Mennonite Farmhouse, they're doing a live tonight on Canuary. If you don't know what Canuary is hosted by Lisa Sutton over at, what is her channel? Days, what is it called? Do you guys know who I'm talking about? Days, let me see. So anyhow, she hosts this. She is all about preparedness, pantry preparedness, and there's a bunch of channels on canning, and it's called Sutton's Days. And so if you don't know this channel and you're curious to know about stocking and pantry and stuff, you might want to go check out some of her videos. But she hosts a Canuary every year. which I wish I was a part of because I can all the time. Maybe in 1 year I will be. But they're doing a live tonight over on Mennonite Farmhouse channel. So it will be really, really interesting to listen to what they have to say. Because, hey, Barb's Country Home, welcome in. Glad you're here. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah. I couldn't think of her name. I knew her first name, but why was that so difficult? So yeah, if you're around, I think it's at 7:30 Eastern time tonight is when it starts. So I just want to let you know that. Sorry, I missed your live echo. It's interesting because when I did homeschooling here and I'd sit at my table, I'd be here and I'd be watching everybody's lives. And now that I'm not, and I'm busy around the house doing things, I just I forget they're on because I'm not on a schedule of sitting here every day. You know what I mean? Like I'm now getting things organized in my house, and right now that has to come first for me because I gotta get it done. I keep saying that during the whole 2019 and 2021, I don't know, it seems it's all blur, right? During the Rona, the C word that I'm not going to say, everybody was at home except for me. I was still running my business and it was busy, and people were decluttering and doing all this stuff. And I keep using that as my reason why I haven't done it. And it's a goal. It's a goal this year. So I have 2 goals I'm doing: the gluten-free baking and the decluttering. Those are my 2 goals, and that's it. That is it. So that's it. Tell me, I haven't heard too many of you talk about your goals. What are your goals for the year? I know Nancy said she's going to start doing her thing and working on her cookbook, which I'm so excited for her. That's a great goal. Somebody talked about gardening. Oh, well, so you know what, Karen? I know, I do too. So downstairs in the basement is where I keep a lot of my canned stuff that I can. So if I don't, and I try to keep some up here, but if I run out of what I want, then I need to go back downstairs to grab more, right? And so I think of it that way too. Hey, I'm getting my steps in for the day. But I got to tell you, it's not my favorite thing to do is up and down the stairs, especially. And I think it's because if you don't know this about me, so I've fallen down the stairs in my lifetime 3 times. And my last time that I fell down the stairs was a bad fall. I almost did the splits, but what I did was my right leg was literally bent all the way back, and my left leg was straight. And I knew I had messed my knee up. So it's my knee. So I am like this little old lady, one step at a time. I go down the stairs now. And I never am like a fan of like carrying too much stuff in my hands because the last thing I want to do is fall. So that's awesome, Jennifer. Well, Jennifer, do you want to be part of another collaboration? I have an opening. It's a Valentine's one hosted by me and Susan at the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. Got a couple dates open. If anybody's interested, hey, hit me up. So I'm hosting 2 of them. So Cupid's Creations is being hosted by myself and Tammy and Gail at Gail Southern Living. And then Susan asked me, it's just a 1-week collaboration. If I do a Valentine's Suite collaboration and co-host it. So I said, sure, why not? So we're doing that, and we need a couple more people to join. And Jennifer, I know Cupid's Creation, there was an email that went out. I'm pretty sure you were on that email as well. So let me know. let me know either way on both of them, and I put you down. And Barb, I think Barb, you're on the email list too. So yeah. Hey, Grandma Groves, how are you? Welcome in. Glad you're here. We're talking about goals this year, and I was wondering, did you have any or make any goals this year on your in your home and your homestead? Let us know. So yeah, and we were talking about collaborations. So there's my email. So if you are interested, please let me know for the Valentine one. I'd appreciate it. Yes. Yes. Yes, Jennifer, that's correct. My heater's running. I can hear it. So yeah, what are your goals? Is it G Mama? I called you Grandma. I'm so sorry. That's how I first read it. Now that I'm writing your name down, I'm going back. G Mama grows hard in the garden. Yeah. So this is my email here that I'm trying to get people to use. And if you have my old email, that's fine too. I respond and use both, but I'm trying to make it easier transition because when my oh, that's great. I'd like to talk to you about what your plans are to grow your business. That's what I'd like to talk to you about. I love it, G Mama. Ooh, I love that. I have a ton of grow bags here, and well, I grow some stuff now in my grow bags, but I have gradually ordered raised beds off of Amazon when they've been on sale. But those grow bags are so great if you have a smaller space. You can grow up. You can just grow so much in it. I wish people would understand that how much you can utilize in a grow bag and how much you can grow your own food. Okay, so if you're not friends with G Mama, you guys, one of the moderators, could you go get her channel link, please, and let's link it in the chat. And if we're not friends with her yet, let's all get connected, support, and help each other out. Okay. I wrote you down on my list, G Mama. I think we are connected, though, to be honest with you. I think I am. I'm sorry, my phone, people are texting me right now, so I'm trying to find out. Yeah, that's so funny. So there was a question that just came through. So I have an Amazon wish list. Anybody want it? I'll be more than happy to share it with anybody. Hey, Troy Sutton, good to see you. Happy New Year. Thanks, Teletreasures, for going and grabbing that. There is her YouTube channel, G Mama Grows. Please make sure. Yeah, I knew the name, and I know your face. But hey, if you're interested, do you do any baking or cooking or anything? There's two collaborations going on. They're Valentine's collaboration, and if you're interested, let me know. You can email me. Yeah, Troy, how are you feeling, my friend? We have been worried about you. That's a great goal, Barb. That's a great goal. I think so too, G Mama. They are pretty awesome, aren't they? They show up here every week for me. They um, welcome people in. They put up the links. They get the people out that aren't behaving themselves. Troy, what's going on with you? You've been in the hospital a while. I don't need to know, but that's just a question that we all ask. If you're a praying person, can I just ask you to please lift up a friend of ours, Troy Sutton? He's been in the hospital here in Virginia. He's south of me. And if you could just lift him up, please, for whatever his situation is that he's going through, for the doctors, for wisdom for the doctors, and for a complete healing in his body. So if you're a praying person, could you please do that and add him to your prayer list in your church group? I'd appreciate that. Thank you so much. Well, Troy, I'm glad that you're at least here with us. I'm doing the same thing, G Mama. I am doing the same thing. So I'm not a fancy dancy baker. I'm a practical baker. I keep things simple and practical. I bake for what you really need, right? Yes, is it fun to have all that fancy dessert? Of course it is. But let's get real. We need breads. We need good, wholesome breads. And I'm working on the same thing this year, and I love that. I'd love to collaborate with you. If you didn't hear, here's my journey. It's going to be some gluten-free baking. And this is personally myself. And I do bake other stuff, but that's just personally for myself. Let's see. Thank you, Nancy, for praying. G Mama, thanks for praying. Karen, thanks for praying. Jennifer, thanks for praying. Barb, thank you for sending prayers off to Troy. We got you covered, Troy. You need pumpkin pie and cheesecake? You mean to bake or to have right now? So I have made a pumpkin cheesecake before, absolutely delicious. I've made pumpkin pie before, which is good. I'm known for my pumpkin bread, I'll be honest with you. So I've got pumpkin bread down pretty good. And then at the market that I do, and which will be coming up in the spring, I do the pretzels and donuts, but I want to add bread to that. And I want to be able to take in, like the last day of the market, I took in a couple of loaves of my sourdough soft sandwich bread. It flew out, like gone. And somebody else wanted one. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have anything. Yeah, get a lot of that protein in you again, Troy, so you can get up and get home. Good to know, Jennifer. Thank you. So yeah, I forgot what I was saying. So yeah. So that's what I'm working on is I want to do more sourdough bread. And here's what I'm working on. So if anybody who's a sourdough baker out there, so I have a starter. Yes, I know I can do this. I know I can do this. But here's what I want to know. If I have my starter and I want to triple that, quadruple it, right? And make sourdough starter so I can make, say, 5 loaves, right? At one time using the starter instead of individual ones that I have to have all these jars. Hey, Susan, welcome in. How would one go about doing that? Would you, maybe I'm not phrasing the question right. So would you take X amount of starter to X amount of flour and activate it that way? So if it called, say, for 100 grams of starter, this is hypothetical, okay? If it's 100 grams of starter to 200 grams of flour, okay? How many loaves will that get you? Is that one loaf or is that 2 loaves? Or do I do X amount of, because I don't want to use all the starter. I mean, I have a lot of discard starter I could probably fool around with and figure out that's still extremely active. I actually just made a video using my discard to make my pizza dough. So that's like one of the things I'm trying to figure out what the best way is. Like I have a jug, half gallon jug or whatever, that I want to have some serious sour starter in. So if I feed it, I know like, okay, I know I need to put like 2 or 3 cups of starter in here or flour in here to activate it with the water, right? And then that's going to give me my 4 or 5 loaves because I want to be able to do that. Do you want some sourdough starter, Karen? That's another thing actually that I have too. I actually dehydrated my own sourdough starter and reactivated it, and it works brilliant. And I sell that as well, and that's coming to my website. And I sold some at the market last spring too. So yeah. So that is my my goal. That's my third goal. So the first goal is the gluten-free baking. Then to figure out if I want to make 5 loaves of sourdough, how much starter and flour do I need to be activated? That's a better question of framing it. Yes, you want some? Okay, so that's the better question. How much starter and how much flour is needed to make 5 loaves of sourdough? That's my question. Because you don't need a lot of starter, you just need a little bit, right? Hey, Gail, welcome in. You know what? You should, Jennifer. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, it's really not as hard as some people think. I think the hardest part is activating a starter. And if you're like me, you just go up to Amazon after killing your starter so many times. You're like, I'm done, but I'm bound and determined. And I've been able to keep my starter up for well over a year, to the fact that I've dehydrated it and figured out how to rehydrate it to use it. So I've learned in the past good year, maybe 2 years. I forget when Lisa and Tammy did that collaboration that I was a part of. So yeah. Well, I can send you some of the starter that you would have to rehydrate yourself. It's really easy to do. Yes, exactly. Me too, G Mama. And you know what? I've had my starter. I have multiple starters in my refrigerator. So it's not like and I have all the discard in there too. So I'm not, you know, I'm not too worried about it. And if I have to set up, okay, I will let the snow go away. If I have to get out 5 jars and activate each jar separately to make a good starter, then that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to tell you, I have a video on it, to be honest, on my very first sourdough bread. And it's pretty good because I'm learning. And so you're going to learn with me if you want it. So, but I can tell you, if you go up to my Gabled home, she does everything sourdough. She's really good, but so is Shah Khan Ranch. She's excellent. Okay. Can somebody go find Shah Khan Ranch for me and bring her stuff up? Yeah. Yeah. And if you missed it, friends, some of those who just are coming in, I ask that if you are a praying person to please lift up Troy Sutton in prayers. He is still in the hospital. He is just now able to eat and get up. And he hasn't been able to get up because he hasn't been able to eat and he's been very weak. So if you could please just lift him up in prayer, we'd appreciate that. Thank you, Gail, for getting the link. There is her link. She really makes sourdough easy. And go check out her channel. Tell her I sent you. Show her some love. She's really great. So yeah. So those are. Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. He was just on here too. So those are my goals. Boy, I just added a couple there, didn't I? So one is the gluten-free baking I'm going to be working on. I know how to eat gluten-free, but the baking part, I want to make my own bread. So gluten-free, the finished decluttering my house. I want to paint, and I want to learn how to make those. I'm going to push myself to learn how much sourdough starter I need to make, say, 5 loaves of bread if I want to take it to market. Or if I want to set up a little micro bakery out here, why not? I can sell my produce, I can sell my baked goods, I can sell my eggs, why not? Right? I can sell my soap. Thanks, Gail, appreciate it. Hey, Christy Betts, welcome in. Good to see you. So yeah, so that really is just kind of like, guys, where did that hour go? I'm talking too much. If you ever want to come up with me and be a guest, I'm up here on one of my lives, please let me know. You can email me at any time. StreamYard has changed things around, that I can tell you. Whoops. Comments. There we go. There we go. You can email me at this email address if you ever want to come up with me. That I personally buy eggs for out here. So, you know what? Thanks, Susan. I'm going to ask my friends. how many, what they do for sourdough. I know like regular sandwich bread, wheat bread or white bread. I know how to do that. That's easy. For some reason, sourdough is just different. And sourdough is better for you anyhow. If you did not know that, sourdough is much easier to digest in your system. So and I do try to eat sourdough, not gluten-free, but I have eaten sourdough because it is easier for me. You mean like for me to go buy in the store? I don't know. I haven't bought eggs. I get them from my Amish friend. And when I go to him, I get farm fresh eggs for $3 a dozen. So, but if I were to sell them out of my home, I would sell them for $5 a dozen. Five to $5.50 a dozen. That's what I would do. But that requires more chickens. More chickens, a new coop, more chickens. So yeah. Yeah, I have several friends I can ask, Susan. So thank you for that. I didn't think about that. So Talos Treasure saying is that you can't find them at Costco. Some places are selling them $9 or $10. That's ridiculous. You go check Aldi. You too, enjoy your grandbabies. I'll be right back, friends. If you could just grab me a minute, I have a right there. All right, sorry about that. Wow, that's expensive. I don't know. Well, now they'll blame it on the fires. And if you don't know, friends, there's horrible fires out in California. And Telos Treasure's daughter, her in-laws had to evacuate part of the area up in Sierra Madre, Altadena, Pasadena, if you all know that area from the Rose Parade. They had to evacuate. So, please pray for that area. It's very sad to see all that. It's bad. The Santa Anas are really bad. Yeah, Chrissy, you should. I have one of my very first whole chickens in the oven that I picked up. I'm so excited. We have that going on. So, yeah. It's so good to see so many friends here. Thank you so much. Yeah. I bet you my fire went out over there. That's awesome. So it's going to be, because my girls aren't laying and, it's too cold for them to lay. So my next trip up to PA, I'll stop at my friends. Hopefully they're still $3 a dozen. And I buy, probably 7 to 10 dozen for my house. What? That many? There's only 3 of you. I know. But you know what, guys? I literally cook eggs almost every single morning for breakfast here in our house. And if I bake, they take eggs. So, and they're farm fresh, so they last a lot longer than the store-bought ones. Pasta is really easy to make, Jennifer. You can do that. You really can. I make pasta every year. But I saw in here, if I'm not mistaken, there is a gluten-free noodle recipe. So I do buy gluten-free pasta, which is made with, it's organic. You buy it at Aldi, and it's made with brown rice and quinoa and chickpea, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, so they do have a gluten-free noodle recipe here that I want to try. And then I'd probably make a little, because gluten-free pasta is really expensive. And I'm thankful that Aldi has it. And I haven't ordered from like Azure Standard in a very long time. And I know you can get it there, but it's so expensive. So they have a sourdough rice bread here too. So they tell you 7 to 24 hours before baking what you're supposed to mix: brown rice, yogurt, kefir or yogurt, and a cup of brown rice. So it's interesting. It takes brown rice and then a cup of sweet brown rice. And then you have all these steps to do. I'll be honest with you, that's too many steps for me. I need it simple. What's that, Gail? I haven't heard of that. What is that? I'll have to write that down. I'll look at that. Thanks. Well, I know. Freeze dryers are great. I love my dehydrator. Jennifer, do you have a dehydrator at home? Oh, that sounds good to know. Thanks, Gail. Where do you get it at? Hey, Jan, welcome in. Yes. Yeah. Here it is. Homemade. They have a homemade noodle recipe here. So, okay, I'll look. Thank you. I've not seen that there, but I'm not looking for it. So I have the Aldi, and I even think Trader Joe's. They put a Trader Joe's not far from me, probably about 12 miles, which, hey, I'll go. If I'm going over that way, might as well stop in. And so I can look there and at Trader Joe's and Aldi and see who has the better price on it. So thank you so much, Gail. I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you. So yeah, so those are my goals for the year. And again, I'm not beating myself up if I don't plan, if I don't accomplish everything. It's about doing and meeting some of those goals. I can declutter. That's not, and I'm going to master this. I know for a fact that I'm going to master gluten free. I'm not, and I know I'll do the other thing, but I can't tell you I am going to do all the painting and everything. I still have to finish my bathroom down here. I got it. I put on the drywall tape and I filled in those holes, and now I need to sand it down. Probably do another batch of that, sand it down, and then I have to repaint the whole entire bathroom because when I went to touch up the paint, I put on the wrong color. So now I have to repaint those areas. So, yeah. So that's it. And I still have to set up my live because I got my partial monetization. I'm heading towards my 4K, which is full monetization. And I'm thinking now I may just wait until I gets fully monetized. Maybe I can hit my 2K and my full monetization at the same time and do one big celebration. Yeah, I don't pressure myself for it because I can't do it. I just don't. That is why this past year, and I know Gail even had the same issues because her and I talked about it a lot on our lives about seeds not germinating from things that you purchase. And I just like, if you have the resources, then use the resources. For me, that's going up to Pennsylvania and buying some of the things that I need. One for my garden. I mean, I can go up there and buy the plants for $1.25 or $1. So yes, I was upset when they weren't germinating because you spend that money and you expect a reputable company, right? Okay, you give them grace. Oh, you're so kind, Tammy. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Tammy. Um, but anyhow, I mean, and so Gail sent me some pepper seeds, so I'm gonna plant those this year. I'm excited. By the time they got to me, because that was another thing, they took so long last year that um, to get here that I wasn't able to plant, have them going. So this year, that is my goal, is to use those seeds that Gail sent to me, so I can use those. So I'm really happy about that. I forget what she sent me. I think it's a peach pepper or something like that. I don't know, but they were unique peppers, so she sent me a couple of those. And yeah. Oh, and so if you guys aren't sure, Adrienne with the Indiana Backyard Gardener, she is doing her seed swap 2025. She just put a video out on that. So if you want to head over there and watch her video, that would be great. So she basically, from my understanding, is if you send her seeds, send her an envelope with a stamp on it with a return address, and give her a list of some of the seeds you would like, she will in return send those to you. So it's a win-win, to be honest, for everybody. So I got my seeds. I'm doing, oh, you did, Gales. I'm doing for the first time, I'm doing the um, Vineyard Chicks collaboration, which is the seeds. I got kidney beans and stuff, so I just got their seeds. So we're going to be doing that. So I haven't tried the habanada. So I heard it's really good because it's sweet. Ah, thanks, Jennifer. I'm going to have to look into them, Jennifer, to be honest with you. Rainbow seeds. Do you have that on your YouTube channel? Survival seeds. Thanks, Jan. Could you tell I was having a hard time figuring out the name? I really can't stand that when that happens. Yep, Survival Seeds. That is, well, they're Vineyard Chicks, but they're also VCC Homestead now. VC Homestead. So you can go over to their channel. It's my first time participating. That's interesting. Thanks, Susan. But there's no yeast in sourdough. Like I don't put in a yeast like I would like in a bread, right? If I was making bread and put a yeast bread, there's no yeast in sourdough. It's just the way the process of fermenting it is. But that's interesting. You know what? I'm going to play around because I have a lot of different starters here in the discard and everything. So I think with that in mind, friends, I've been on here an hour and a half. That was not my intention. I got my first whole chicken that I picked up back in November for processing. It's in there. I don't know how long it's going to, like I got 10 whole chickens. I'm using one now. Now I'm down to 9. So I'm not sure how long 9 chickens are going to last. We'll see. Because I am more prone to, if I have chicken breast in there or something like that, to pull those packages out. So I think I want to raise my own meat birds again. And even though my friend raised these for me, but I would like to raise them. And when I have them processed, I would like to have them like cut into the sections like the breast and stuff. Is anybody else like that? I like the whole chicken, but I'm more, if I want the breast, to just go pull the breast instead of a whole chicken. But it's cooking. I'll save everything after I debone it, and I'll save the bones and make broth because I need new broth. So I have so much to can. That's another thing I have to do. I have canning to do. And to be honest, I have no desire to go can any more tomatoes. I have peppers to process. I wanted to make hot sauce. I have no desire to go do that. I really just want to take a breath and just stay away from the canning process right now until I really get motivated. It's all going to be here again before you know it. But I don't think I'm going to can tomatoes this year. I have so many tomatoes downstairs, and I have tomatoes in my freezer that I think I'm done with tomatoes this year. I'd like to focus on more applesauce, more potatoes, more like meals in a jar versus individual things. Although, now see here, I'm changing my mind. The chili base that I canned is phenomenal. I absolutely love the chili base. So now I'm thinking I'm going to have to can more. So I am going to need, maybe if I did, it would just be like 1 bushel of tomatoes and be done. And it would be like strictly the chili base. So, but I do have tomatoes in the freezer to do, so maybe I can just do those. So we don't eat a lot of chili during the, spring and winter, or spring and summer. But I did chili on Monday night. Yeah, because it was snowing. Everybody else in the world seemed to be having chili or a stew that night. It was funny. But if you are in line of the next path of storms that are supposed to be coming for the weekend, I don't see here that they're going to be hitting. They took it out of my forecast. Now they have partly sunny on Saturday with a high of 35 where it was supposed to be snow. But right now it's 26 out with a real feel of 11 here in my area because of the wind. So, and I think on that note, friends, I'm going to go check on the chicken. And hey, we're here to encourage each other and to support each other with our goals that we have set. Gail, are you still in the chat by chance? Remember, if you ever want to be a guest for me up here with me to chat, please email me. I'd love to have you up. Okay. So now Gail's down in Texas, so they get weather Thursday, Friday. Gail, do you have a chat tonight by chance? Something says that you do. I know Leanne at the Mennonite Farmhouse has one at 7:30, and that's on January with mouse toes. I think Gail has one tonight, and it is on healthy. Her goals is about healthy living. She is trying to change her eating habits and doing things in a different way as well. So it's 6 p.m. With Milk and Honey, Heather. So is it on your channel? Go over and you guys can catch Gail and Heather at 6 o'clock. That's not Eastern time. What is that? Central time? I forget. I think it's Central time. She's an hour behind me. So make sure that yeah. So it's on both channels. So you can either go watch on Heather's or you can watch on Gail's channel, but it's both there. So that's at 6 o'clock. I'll pop in for a little bit and get you guys going and then have my TV going too. So yeah. All right, everybody, I'm going to go, but have a blessed day and I'll see you next week or in the kitchen. See ya. Bye.